about less than 1% of gamers have hit these 3 ranks in these 3 respected video games. I am personally in this 1% club because I have hit all these 3 ranks, and in today's video I'm going to teach you how I did it and how you can achieve a higher rank in your respected video game. So no bullshit guys, let's go, let's start with this video. So part 1 is what I like to call the trainable things. Now these trainable things include aiming, movement and utility knowledge. This is simple. What I did before every single time, before ever playing a competitive game is simple. First I would go into aimbots, which was a workshop map for CS, and I would shoot 500 bots standing still in the head, tapping with AK. After 100 kills I would add movement, then I would add a little bit more movement, then I would add strafing and such. I would try to make my aim a little bit steadier and not just shoot AFK bots basically. Then what I would do is I would jump into deathmatch. Then in these deathmatches I would do 3 rounds. 1 only silenced M4, 2 the M4A4 which is the non-silenced M4, and 3 the AK-47. I would shoot around 50 people with these guns in different scenarios, from for example in Mirage or Dust or some different maps, but this is what I would do for the aiming part. Of course, if you're not playing CS, you can play aim labs, and there are still ways for you to train your aim even if you're a Valorant or a Rainbow Six main. I'm just telling you what I did in CS. So for the movement part is simple. In CS I would play a couple of surfs and I would play a couple of KZ maps. Of course, zombie escapes are fun, but zombie escapes don't necessarily train your movement like surfs and KZ maps. And now for the 3, which is the utility knowledge, is simple. First, I would just simply watch pros. I would just watch pro teams play against each other, figure out what angles do they use, figure out what type of lineups do they have, and I would just simply pick up on stuff, and I would start to remember stuff. For example, if I were to play Inferno, I know how to smoke CT from Banana. For example, if I were to play Dust, I knew how to smoke Short or Xbox from T-Spawn simply by watching pros play. So that's for the first part, for the 3 first things: aim, movement and utility knowledge. Done. Let's move on to the second thing. Part 2 is going to be the untrainable things, which is simply your game sense. Now you cannot necessarily train your game sense, you can certainly sharpen it by simply playing more. That's it. You cannot do anything more than that. You just need to simply play more. Or you can of course watch streamers, watch YouTube guides on such as like this, but in general game sense is not something you can train. It's something you acquire with experience the more you play. For example, if you have only 1,000 hours in CS, you are not gonna have the same or better game sense than someone with 10,000 hours, simply because these players that have more hours have seen more scenarios, more clutch situations, more after plans, more retakes, blah blah blah. They simply just have better game sense than you, and there's not something you can train. You just have to keep playing or watching pro players or watching streamers playing at a high level, and that's something you're just going to pick up. So it's not something you can train, and you shouldn't be mad at yourself if you don't have the perfect game sense, if you don't necessarily have loads and loads of hours in these video games. Now before we move into part 3, there's a little 5-second ad for my Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Ryuniel. My goal at the moment is to try to achieve the highest, or if not the second highest rank in Marvel Rivals. So if you guys are interested in that, I'm streaming almost every day. Just drop by and say hi. Also, I have a Discord in the description if you guys would like to join. I'm always plugging my Twitch whenever I'm online there, so there's the fastest way for you to see whenever I'm streaming. That's part 3 is going to be about communication and mentality. Now communication is vital when you try to improve your ranks. You shouldn't yap a lot.
You shut up when I'm talking to you! You shut your mouth!
You shouldn't say unnecessary things. You just simply should say info to your teammates nicely and calmly so they understand you. You don't want to be one of those guys that people get mad about because they don't talk, because they don't give info, you know? This is very, very important. If you have a strat, if you have an idea, if you know what you're gonna do, just communicate it to your teammates so they know that you are doing this. Of course, in many scenarios, people do not care about what you have to say. They don't care about your info. They don't care about your tactics, but you just have to roll with it. Now, your mentality is crucial for you to play good, because if let's say your teammates rages, or let's say you rage, you're going to miss more shots than you think. Of course, there are those rare occasions when people play better, when they rage just like I do, but personally, I believe what I've seen from my first hand from all of my games is that if you don't rage, if you try to calm down your raging teammates, or if you just simply try to have a good vibe with your teammates, it's going to be better for your mentality long term, and it's going to be causing you to win games that you maybe shouldn't win. So it's a win-win situation to keep calm and don't rage. That's simple. And if your teammate rages, try to calm them down. Don't call them words, don't call them idiots, don't start arguing with idiots, don't start arguing with your teammates. Just simply try and handle the situation at the best of you can, which is keeping everything calm, nice and fun. Nice. Part 4 is gonna be about finding teammates. Now I know finding teammates, finding people to play with could be hard if you are maybe solo queuing a lot. Maybe you don't have friends that play that sad game that you do. For example, in my situation, I had to solo queue Valorant because none of my friends did play Valorant. They all stuck to Rainbow Six and they all stuck to CS, which is completely fine, but you have to play with some people other than yourself. Solo queuing is not easy. Solo queuing can be very frustrating and very hard. Finding yourself a couple of good teammates, a couple of people to play with is absolutely crucial, I think, in leveling up and achieving a higher rank in those competitive games. So first, go join your games' Discord communities. Rainbow Six and Valorant has a big open, find players to play with, looking for group chats in their Discords. It's super easy to find people there. But if you don't like those Discords, you don't like those communities, you can just always add people that play good in your games, talk nice to them, say, hey bro, nice shot, do you want to play, or something like that. And in that way you will find friends and people to play with in a couple of games, I can guarantee that. Now for part 5, you need to subscribe to Ryuniel in YouTube, because if you do, you're simply just going to have 10% more aim, and you're going to have 15% more luck, you're going to have more timings on your enemies, and you're going to be just simply luckier and better than all of your teammates, and you're going to achieve a higher rank in your video games. Now for the actual part 5, I would like you to come back in a couple of months in the comment section and tell me if these devices have changed you for the better in any way or any shape or form, and if you have achieved a higher ranking because watching this video or not. So yeah, so part 6, which is the bonus points, is going to be about gaming supplements such as G Fuel or Wraith or GG subs. I personally believe that these gaming supplements actually work. I believe that you have better reflexes, you don't have blinking sessions when you're playing with operator because your eyes get dried out. If you guys are interested in using gaming supplements, please visit Gamerbulk and use code Ryuniel for 10% off at their website. They have all sorts of selections, they have all sorts of outlets, shakers, everything. Oops. So yeah, if you guys would like to use gaming supplements, please go and use my code at gamerbulk.com. They have all these selections. Use these gaming supplements if you have the budget for it and if you are interested in using that, because they actually do work nice. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys actually enjoyed it. Leave a like, subscribe down to the channel, join my Discord. I'm streaming almost every single day here, and yeah, let's go.